Okay. So the topic what we are going to discuss today is only dissolution of partnership firm. So first dissolution அப்படிங்கிற topic before the topic what we learned is retirement. There is a difference between these two topic. Okay. Retirement and dissolution. Okay. These two topics are next to next topics as back to back topic. But what is the difference if you ask? In retirement, the firm will continue provided if they have already mentioned in their partnership deed about the continuation of the firm. Okay, so for example, there are three partners A, B, and C. C is retiring. C is retiring from the firm, and if A and B wants to continue, then they may go ahead with the business. So in this case, if you see, it is called as dissolution of partnership alone, not partnership firm. So the other name we can say is retirement is nothing but it is dissolution of partnership. It is dissolution of partnership alone, not partnership firm as a whole, because A, B, C in this the partner C is only getting out of the business, the other two are going to continue in the business. So that's a way the name is given in such a way that it is also called retirement can also be said as dissolution of partnership. But coming up to the concept of dissolution, A, B, and C are partners and they are carrying on the business, and now all the three partners decides, okay, all the three partner decides to quit the firm or decides to close. Okay, they have decided to close the business, then only we'll call it as dissolution of partnership firm. Okay, then only we'll call it as dissolution of partnership firm, because individually we call each one as a partner, and collectively, now if you see collectively A, B, and C put together, we'll call it as firm. Okay, we call it as firm. So if one particular partner alone is expressing his interest to quit the business, then it comes under retirement category. If all the partners together decides that it is the right time to close the business, then it comes under the category of dissolution of partnership firm. So this is what the difference between retirement and dissolution. Is it clear to you all? Basic difference between dissolution and partnership is okay. Now we have to understand what are the things that we have to do in case of dissolution. We not consider anything about retirement, but first and foremost, I want to make you understand what is retirement, what is dissolution. But today's the entire topic is going to be purely on dissolution. So when it comes to dissolution, first you should understand what is dissolution, why it happens, and then you should understand what are the important sections that we have in this topic and in what way each section is going to be helpful with respect to the problems, and what are all the accounts that we need to prepare with respect to dissolution, and particularly when you are going to prepare one particular account, namely realization account, how does it works, what is essential to prepare the realization account, and at the same time what is memorandum balance sheet, when do you want to prepare a memorandum balance sheet. All these things we are going to discuss it today. Okay, so first, when it comes to dissolution, you have to ensure that you are settling out all your liabilities. Okay, when it comes to dissolution, there is winding up closure. Okay, the first and foremost that what you have to think is settlement of accounts. Okay, settlement of accounts. So when it comes to settlement of accounts, in this the first priority will go for the settlement of liabilities. It comes to settlement of liabilities. When I talk about the settlement of liabilities, you have got basically liabilities of two types. Okay, so liabilities, there are two types as you know very well, internal liability and external liability. You have got your internal liability as well as you have got your external liabilities. Now, internal liabilities are those liabilities which is with respect to the partners. Okay, so internal liability is with respect to partners. If you have got loan from a particular partner, then it is a internal liability. Okay, with respect to partners. But external liabilities are not with respect to partners. This is in relation with banks or partner's wife or brother or any other third parties. So this is how the liabilities have got bifurcated. So in this settlement of accounts, the first priority, okay, the priority will be given to external liabilities. The priority will be given to external liabilities, and in the external liability, the first person who will rank in the order will be banks, and next only will be okay partner's wife. When the two, if there is no other creditors. For example, you have bank loan and you have wife's loan, partner's wife's loan, then this is the order of settlement. Suppose if you have one more person in the link stating that there is a supplier, sundry creditors, then sundry creditors should be given the next priority after the banker, and finally will give the priority to the partner's wife. Am I making sense to you? So this is how the priorities will be given, or this is how the importance in settlement of the account should take place. Is this clear to you all? Any doubt in this one? How about others? Others kindly give your response whether you understood the concept, the settlement concept, whether who will be given the first priority, second, third, all those things. Okay. After paying these two, that is the outside liability, okay, banks and the partnership and other third parties, then you will go for the payment of the partners, the loans and advances. Okay. So the next one is second priority will be as in paying to each partner ratably what is due to him on account of loans and advances, and after that you may have to pay to each partner ratably what is due to him out of capital, and finally if there is any balance left over will be distributed among the partners in the profit sharing ratio. So this is what you have to make it clear. So after these two settlement of external liabilities, then comes in the order the internal liabilities. So in this internal liabilities, you will have to make the payment of your loans and advances. Okay, so in this loans and advances will be the next priority, and after this, payment of partners capital. You understood? Payment of partners capital. Once you're done with all this, okay, once you're done with all this, if any balance, if any balance amount available, then it will be distributed. Then it will be distributed among all partners in the profit sharing ratio. Okay, in the profit sharing ratio. And here you will have only one PSR, that is the profit sharing ratio, which is existing among the partners. So you won't have anything like old profit sharing or new profit sharing. It is only old profit sharing. There is no gaining ratio or sacrificing ratio in this topic. So everything will be dealt only in the profit sharing ratio. Is this clear to you all? And this settlement of accounts in general, okay, the settlement of accounts in general is covered under the section called as section 48. This is the main section that you have to keep in your mind. Got it? And here if you see, what are all the items that I said: settlement of accounts, the settlement of liabilities, internal, external, all these things are possible only by selling out your firm's assets. ஸோ இந்த செட்டில்மெண்ட் எப்படி நீங்கள் பண்ண முடியும்? இந்த தேர்ட் பார்ட்டி லோனாக இருக்கட்டும், இல்லாட்ட இன்டர்னல் லைபிலிட்டியாக இருக்கட்டும், ஆர்எல்ஸ் கேபிட்டல் பேலன்ஸ் செட்டில் பண்ணுறதா இருக்கட்டும், இது எல்லாத்துக்குமே உங்களுக்கு என்ன வேணும்? ஃபண்ட்ஸ் வேணும், கேஷ் வேணும். அந்த கேஷ் உங்களுக்கு எப்படி கிடைக்கும்? ஹவ் வில் யூ கெட் த கேஷ்? யூ ஹாவ் டு செல் அவுட் யுவர் அசட்ஸ். அந்த ஃபேர்மில் இருக்கிற அசட்ஸ், that is nothing but the fixed assets as well as your current assets, leaving out few items like cash in hand or cash at bank, and then the amount of loans and advances. All these things should not be taken into account. Leaving out these, the rest of the accounts will be sold, or it could be taken up by the partners at some agreed value, and the amount will be realized out of the sale. With the help of that realized value only, you will be settling the liabilities. So all these settlements takes place with the help of the assets which has been realized from the firm's assets. So we call all this in other way like application of assets. Okay, so this will be dealt like application of assets. Okay, so basically what will you do? You will have your assets of the firm and liabilities of the firm. So basically if you see, for doing any dissolution problem, balance sheet is very important. When I say balance sheet, you will be having your liabilities and you will have got your assets. So the assets, whatever you have it, you will be selling it out, and with the help of the sale proceeds only, you will have to settle this liabilities. So you will make the payment. In this, you will not take few items, as I said. So what are those exceptional items? If you ask, in this and in this, the cash in hand, cash at your bank, the loans and advances, and over here, and suppose if you have any profit or loss undistributed values, okay, so profit and loss undistributed, these items should not be taken into account. And in your liabilities, if you see, partner's capital should not be taken into account. Then the loans, internal or external loans, should not be taken into account. And of course, profits or profit and loss. Okay, the profit and loss. These items you are not supposed to take. This will be dealt separately. So, with the help of the assets, what are you selling out, that will help out to make the payment. So, this is what we see it as the application of assets. How you are applying the assets. So, yes, ma, ஆமாப்பா. சரி, okay. See, balance sheetல you'll have assets of the firm and the liabilities of the firm. The dissolution processல என்ன பண்ணுவீங்கன்னா, அந்த ஃபர்ம்ல இருக்கிற எல்லா அசெட்ஸையும் வித்து காசாக்கிட்டு, அந்த காச வச்சு தான் அந்த லைபிலிட்டீஸ நீங்க பே பண்ணுவீங்க. அப்போ எல்லா அசெட்ஸ் நான் சொல்லும்போது, அதுல ஒரு சில அசெட்ஸ மட்டும் நீங்க எடுக்கக்கூடாது. அது எந்த அசெட்ஸ் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோன்னா, அதுதான் இந்த எக்செப்ஷனல் அசெட்ஸ். கேஷு, கேஷ் அட் பேங்க்கு, லோன்ஸ் அண்ட் அட்வான்ஸஸ், ப்ராஃபிட் அண்ட் லாஸ். இங்க பார்த்தீங்கன்னா கேபிட்டல், லோன், ப்ராஃபிட் அண்ட் லாஸ். ஸோ லயபிலிட்டியில் இந்த 3 ஐட்டமையும், அசெட்ஸ் இந்த ஐட்டம்ஸையும் எடுக்காம, மிச்சம் இருக்கிறத மட்டும் எடுத்து வித்து காசாக்கி, அந்த காசை வச்சு லயபிலிட்டியில் இருக்கிற பேமெண்ட்டை நீங்கள் எல்லாத்தையும் கிளியர் பண்ணுவீங்க. இந்த ப்ராசஸை தான் நம்ம என்ன சொன்னாக்கா அப்ளிகேஷன் ஆஃப் அசெட்ஸ் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறோம். ஓகேவா? ஓகே. ஸோ இந்த அப்ளிகேஷன் ஆஃப் அசெட்ஸும் பார்த்தீங்கன்னாக்கா பேமெண்ட் கேட்டகரி வரதுனால அதை வந்து ஒரு தனி சப் கேட்டகரியாக சொல்கிறோம். ஸோ செக்ஷன் 48B அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறோம். ஓகே, we are giving all this settlement in section 48B. ஓகே, செக்ஷன் 48B. சரி, அப்போ செக்ஷன் 48B ஒன்று இருக்குதுன்னா டெஃபினட்டாக செக்ஷன் 48Aன்ட்டு ஒன்று இருக்கணும். ஸோ செக்ஷன் 48A என்ன டீல் பண்ணுறது அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னாக்கா that we'll discuss it now, because these are some of the important theoretical questions which may ask, or it can be an objective questions too. Which section? Section 48A, 48B, 48 அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி you may come across. So section 48A. So this particular topic is dealing with treatment of losses. Okay, treatment of losses. So what it says, when I say loss, it even including the deficiency of capital, and this will be paid out of profit and then will be paid out of the capital, and lastly if there is a necessity, then it will be paid through the partners individually in the ratio in which they share their profits. So, if suppose there is a loss to the company, the firm, then the losses will be settled out in such a way whereby the deficiency in the capital will be taken into account, and first out of your profit and then out of your capital and then only from the partners individually. This is how the treatment of losses will be dealt. ஸோ ஒரு பார்ட்னர்ஷிப் ஃபர்ம் டிசல்யூஷனுக்கு வரும்போது you keep in your mind there is a section, important section called 48, and that 48 section talks about a settlement. அப்போ செட்டில்மெண்ட் சொல்லும் போது you have got something called application of assets and treatment of your losses. Treatment of losses in section 48A ல deal ஆகுது, whereas application of this asset in making the payment of liabilities is dealt in section 48A. These are the, sorry, 48B. These are two sections which is there in our dissolution chapter. Apart from this, we do have two more sections which you have to keep in your mind. So it is nothing but the dissolution process meaning. Okay, they have given the definition, or we can say it's a meaning of dissolution. Okay, so dissolution of a firm is nothing but the partnership is among all the partners in the firm comes to an end. So this has been dealt in section 39. Okay, so section 39 talks about the definition of partnership. We can say in such a way. Okay, there is a section called section 39. It gives the meaning. Okay, it talks about the meaning of dissolution. Or in other way, we can say it is nothing but giving the definition. So definition of dissolution, okay, is dealt in section which? Section 39. Can you able to understand? So section 39 talks about either definition or we can say it is talking about the meaning of dissolution. Section 48, where you have 48A and 48B, each section talks about each individual aspect, but on the whole, that 48 has two subdivision. 48 is generally covering the settlement of accounts. Okay, so settlement சொல்லும் போது லாஸும் செட்டில்மெண்ட்ல தான் வருது, and at the same time the hierarchy in the payment is also coming in the settlement. Is this clear to everyone? Everyone can able to follow the important sections what I said now? And there is one more final section which is left over is section number 43. Okay, there is one more important section which we have to discuss is section 43. This section is talking about one among the mode of dissolution. Okay, section 43 talks about, okay, it talks about the dissolution of your firm. It talks about the dissolution of firm through notice. Okay, through notice. There are various way by which a firm can be dissolved. Okay, so some of the ways in which a firm can be dissolved is by mutual agreement. Okay, the ways by which the firm can get dissolved is by mutual agreement. Okay, one is by mutual agreement. The second one, if you see, compulsory dissolution. The second one is compulsory dissolution. The third one, if you see, it is by notice. You have to give a notice for your dissolution. The fourth one, if you see, it is on happening of an event. If any event happens, okay. So on happening of an event, and then there is one more, which is nothing but dissolution by court. Okay, court dissolution. So totally, if you see in dissolution, you have got five different modes. Okay, there are five modes. Okay, we can say you have got five modes of dissolution. Okay, altogether you have got five modes. These are the ways by which a firm can be dissolved. And if the dissolution is happening up by notice, then you have to remember this section, section number 43. Okay, so section 43 is one of the most important section, which is talking about the dissolution process of a partnership firm through a notice. And most probably, if you see, the main reason why a firm goes for dissolution is if they earn only losses instead of profit over a period of time, they won't be able to sustain in the market or withstand in the market and to face the competitions that is prevailing in the market. So they have to withdraw from the market. They go for dissolution. Number two, If suppose the tenure, the time period for the partnership has come to an end, then they may withdraw the partnership business. And then courts dissolution. If the firm is involving in themselves in some unlawful activities, or if they are creating some sort of problems to the environment, then the court can also dissolve the firm by giving a order for resolution. Or if in case, if the partner or one among the partner in the firm has become an unsound person, then the firm has to dissolve by the court's order. So these are the important reasons for dissolution. So you have got five modes of dissolution, and you learned the three important sections. So section 43, section, what are the sections that you learned? Section 43, then section 48, and then section 39. Okay, so probably I'll write it here. The important sections that what we have dealt today is, okay, three important sections. Okay, in this chapter, the three important sections. Important sections are three in numbers. First section is, will go by the ascending order. Okay, so section number what? 39. The second section is section number 43. The third important section was section number 48. Significance. Section 39 talks about meaning or definition of what? Meaning or definition of dissolution. Section 43 talks about dissolution by notice. When I come to section number 48, this section talks in general about the settlement of accounts. This section talks generally about settlement of accounts. So this has got two important bifurcations, that is section 48A and the other one is section 48B. 48A talks about treatment of losses, and section number 48B talks about treatment of or application. Okay, treatment, or otherwise we can say as application of assets. So this is the three important sections that we have in this topic. Any doubt with respect to the basic concepts of partnership and retirement, and also the settlement of accounts and the important three sections that have been dealt in this chapter? Okay, now comes the important accounts that you prepare in this chapter. Okay, the important accounts. And okay, important accounts and important treatment or adjustments. Okay, accordingly, first let us go by accounts. The first and foremost account that what we have to prepare is realization account. Okay, then you will have to prepare an account in the name of partners capital account. Am I right? partner's capital account. The next one, if you see, you will be preparing the account in the name of loan. There are two different loans, loan by partner and loan to partner. So both the loan accounts you have to prepare it. Okay. So in common we'll say loan account. This is getting two divisions. Okay. Loan by partner to firm. And the second one is loan by firm to partner. How to understand whether this is a loan given by the partner to the firm or it is a loan given by the firm to partner is, if it is a loan given by partner to the firm, then this will amount, the amount of this loan will be appearing in your balance sheet. It will be appearing in your balance sheet liabilities side. Okay, it will be appearing in your balance sheet liabilities side. That is an indicator to understand it is a loan by partner to the firm. If it is a loan by firm to partner, even this will be available in your balance sheet, but it will be appearing on your asset side in the name of loans and advances also. Okay, it can also be taking a name of loans and advances. So in the name you appear agalam. Okay, so this is how you have to identify what is the loan is, whether it's a loan given by the partner to the firm or firm to partner. And of course, the fourth account, what you may have to prepare is the bank account or the cash account. Okay, you must have to prepare the bank account, okay, or the cash account. Bank account or the cash account. Apart from this, what else is the account that we have to prepare? Any idea? Any idea apart from this? That's it. Only these are the accounts. In your textbook, if you see, they are given five, but here I made as four because loan is taken as a common. I made under this itself AB. But in our textbook, they have made this as two different ones. This is one account and this one account. So as a result, they'll be showing five accounts. No problem. Okay, important accounts அப்படின்னு சொன்னாக்க here also you have got five accounts to be prepared. So again there is a linking. The way of dissolution, mode of dissolution எவ்வளவு படிச்ச? Mode of dissolution எவ்வளவு படிச்ச? 5 படிச்சியா? Mode of dissolution is also 5. Okay, and here the types of accounts to be prepared is also 5. So in this way also they can ask you எப்படினா கேட்கலாம், ஈஸியா கேட்கலாம், இல்ல சம்மந்தம் இல்லாத மாதிரியும் கேட்கலாம், எப்படி கேட்டாலும் உனக்கு தெரியணும். Okay, there are 5 modes of dissolution. There are 5 important accounts you are preparing in dissolution. Okay, now let us come to an understanding of how to prepare the realization account. Okay, and what is the essential thing to prepare a realization account? That if you understand first, then obviously the preparation of realization account or any full-fledged problem under the topic of dissolution will be more easier for you. இது தெரிஞ்சிருச்சுன்னா அது ரொம்ப எஸ்மா சொல்லுங்கம்மா. ஓகே, see as I said, இப்போ உங்களோட dissolution ப்ராசஸுக்கு realization account preparation is very important. To prepare the realization account, the base, okay, the source document is nothing but the given balance sheet of the firm. A balance sheet has to be complete. Both the sides, liability side and asset side, should get matched up. Okay, one day then we call them as a complete balance sheet, or else we name them as an extracted balance sheet. If suppose given in a question, the items appearing in balance sheet, but they are not given you a balance sheet as such, ஒரு பேலன்ஸ் ஷீட் டேபிள் மாதிரி கொடுக்காம பேலன்ஸ் ஷீட்ல வரக்கூடிய கண்டென்ட்டை மட்டும் ஒரு ரன்னிங் டேட்டாவா ஒரு பேராகிராஃப் மாதிரி கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. Whereby, if you just prepare the balance sheet with those available data, you will definitely find that there is some indifference. Both the sides are not getting matched up. That means something they would have missed out in the question. They would have not given up as a ready-made figure. They may ask us to prepare it or to derive that particular value what it is, but they might have given us the realized value of that particular asset. For example, okay, as you asked, I just saying you, I'll tell you some basics. Some just you make a note of it. Okay, there is a two partners in a firm A and B, and at the time of dissolution, their capital account is showing a balance of rupees 1 lakh each. So where will you record 1 lakh of the partner's capital? Liability side. Okay, so have 2 lakh rupees on the liability side against the name of capital. Then they said there is a creditor to the extent of rupees 2 lakhs. Okay, they said that there is a creditors to the extent of rupees 2 lakhs. Where will you record creditors? Huh? Liability side. Okay. And they said you have got an outstanding payment. Okay. Like outstanding bills payable, something like that to the extent of rupees 1 lakh. Where will you show the outstanding payment of rupees 1 lakh? Okay. Now, they are also giving some details about your asset side. They said that you have got a cash value of rupees 1 lakh 50,000. You have got a cash value of rupees 1 lakh 50,000 and debtors value of rupees 50,000. Okay. Now, apart from this, there is no other information given the question, but one information is given such a way like other assets realized. Other assets realized. Some value, a bulk value they are given to you. Now you just see what are the values that you have on the asset side. Cash value of 1 lakh 50,000 and debtors value of rupees 50,000. Altogether 2 lakhs only I got. Whereas on the liability side, how much I got? You got altogether 5 lakhs, 4 lakhs. No, 1 lakh each of partners' capital. Then creditors of rupees, how much I said? 1 lakh, so 3 lakh, and then 1 lakh of your outstanding. Okay. So 4 lakh is there in your liability side, but on the asset side, as per the information, if you see, cash value of 1 lakh 50, debtors value of 50, only 2 lakh is there. A balance sheet means it must be both the sides equal. So there is a shortage of rupees, how much? 2 lakhs, right? There is a shortage of rupees 2 lakh. This 2 lakh, you will make it as sundry assets. You will give this 2 lakhs as a balancing figure of sundry assets. Because the question also given a one clue that other assets realized. Other assets realized na cash is an asset but it won't get realized because already realized on a formல தான் இருக்கு. அதை நம்ம எடுக்கவும் மாட்டோம் ரியலைசேஷன் அக்கௌண்ட்டுக்கு. டெட்டாஸை பற்றி வேற எதுவுமே இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கொடுக்கல. சரி ஓகே பட் இருந்தாலும் அதே வேல்யூ ரியலைஸ் ஆனா கூடயும் அந்த வேல்யூவும் நமக்கு ரியலைஸ் ஆன வேல்யூவும் பார்த்தனாக்க வேரியேஷன் இருக்கும். அப்ப கண்டிப்பா இன்னும் ஏதோ கொஞ்சம் அசெட்ஸ் இருந்து தானே ஆகணும். இருந்தா தானே அது ரியலைஸ் ஆகும். அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு சிச்சுவேஷன்ல தான் யூ வில் ப்ரிப்பேர் தி மெமராண்டம் பேலன்ஸ் ஷீட். டிட் யூ கெட் மை பாயிண்ட்? புரியலமா? லயபிலிட்டி சைடில் உங்களுக்கு ஷார்ட்டேஜ் வந்ததுன்னா ஓகே ரைட். இப்போ லயபிலிட்டி சைடில் ஷார்ட்டேஜ் வந்தாக்க தென் யூ ஹேவ் டு செக் இட் அப். ஓகே வெதர் தே ப்ராப்ளம் கிவன் யூ த பார்ட்னர்ஸ் கேபிட்டல் ஆர் நாட். பார்ட்னர்ஸோட கேபிட்டலோட இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கொடுத்துருக்கான்னு பாருங்க. கொடுக்கலனா அப்போ அது பார்ட்னர் கேபிட்டலுக்கு போகிறதுக்கு சான்சஸ் இருக்கு. ஓகே இல்லை செகண்ட் ஓகே லோனை பற்றி ஏதோ ஒரு இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க அட்ஜஸ்ட்மெண்ட்டில். ஓகே பார்ட்னர்ஸ் லோன் have been settled in full அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி ஒரு இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கொடுத்துருக்கு. பட் பார்ட்னர் லோனை பற்றி எதுவுமே நமக்கு பேலன்ஸ் ஷீட்டில் அவைலபிள் இல்லைன்னா அப்போ வரக்கூடிய பேலன்சிங் ஃபிகர் பார்ட்னர் லோனாகவும் இருக்கலாம். ஓகே கேபிட்டல் பற்றியும் இல்லை, பார்ட்னர் லோனை பற்றியும் இல்லை. தென் அட்ஜஸ்ட்மெண்ட்டில் சொல்லியிருக்கு அவுட்ஸ்டாண்டிங் பில்ஸ் பேயபிள் சம்திங் லைக் தட் எனிதிங் which is outstanding is there. But in your original balance sheet, there is no such outstanding item at all. Then entire amount, whatever you're getting as a balancing figure on the liability side, will be declared as the outstanding value, whatever is given in the adjustment. புரியுதா? So this is how you have to match your memorandum balance sheet. Is it clear to everyone? Okay, fine. So the five important assets, I mean accounts, what they have to be prepared, we have discussed. Now let us just have a look like what we'll do in case of realization account. So what is the format of the realization account, and also we'll discuss the procedure of this dissolution and also the important journal entries along with the realization account format. Okay. So as you said here, for doing the dissolution process, 11 steps to be understood for the entire dissolution process. Number one, transfer all realizable assets. The words are very important. Realizable assets of the firm to which side? To the debit side of your realization account. Similarly, transfer all the outsider liabilities of the firm to the credit side of realization account. Okay, so outside liabilities, you will be transferring the credit side of your what? Credit side of your real estate account. You may ask me, sir, loan account நீங்கள் எடுக்கக்கூடாது சொன்னீங்களே. சொன்னேன். யாரோட லோன் எடுக்கக்கூடாதுன்னு? பார்ட்னருக்கு கொடுத்த லோன் ஆர் பார்ட்னர் கிட்ட வாங்கின லோன். If you could just see the five important accounts what I mentioned in the below are okay. One, the loan what we have derived from the partner, or the loan what we are given to the partner. But partner becomes an internal liability. It is not an external liability or third party. So here they are saying the third party's loan or the third party's liability, which is nothing but the bank loan or else the loan what you have got from your partner's wife, anything such that. So outsider's liability will be brought to the credit side. Then you are selling out your assets. அதுதான் நான் இங்க சொன்னேன் இந்த பேலன்ஸ் ஷீட் போடும்போதே. ஓகே, யூ ஆர் செல்லிங் ஆல் த அசட்ஸ், யூ வில் பி செல்லிங் இட் அவுட் அண்ட் அதை வச்சு தான் நீங்கள் பேமெண்ட்டே பண்ணுறீங்கன்னு நான் சொல்லியிருக்கேன். அப்போ தட் மீன்ஸ் தி சேல் ஆஃப் அசட்ஸ். ஓகே, ரெக்கார்ட் தி சேல் ஆஃப் ஆல் அசட்ஸ் விச் சைட்? கிரெடிட் சைட் ஆஃப் யுவர் ரியலைசேஷன் அக்கௌண்ட். You have to just think about the journal entry. What is a journal? அப்படின்னு கேட்டாக்க I'll just do it here. What will be the journal for the purchase of an asset in general? General, okay, when any asset is purchased, okay, when an asset is purchased and that asset, say for example, I'm giving the example as furniture. Okay, that asset name is furniture. What will be the journal entry for the purchase of asset called furniture? Journal for asset purchased. What is the journal for the asset purchased? Furniture asset purchased. Very good. So furniture account is debited to cash or bank account. This is the journal which you can follow until retirement. Okay, so this is a journal you will follow in normal cases, that is where the business continues. Okay, this is permissible in the normal cases where your business continue. But when, okay, similarly, what will be the journal for sale of any asset? Say for example, same asset furniture. Okay, sale of asset furniture. What will be the journal entry? Very good. So cash or bank account debited to furniture account. This is also possible only in the normal cases. Okay, that is where business is continuing. But in dissolution, okay, in dissolution, the ultimate process of dissolution is to give away the assets and settle out your liabilities. So in dissolution, when you sell an asset, okay, sale of asset, same example, like for example, furniture. This is an asset which you are selling and you are going to get some value out of it. In dissolution, you know that the most important account to be prepared is realization account. So all the assets and liabilities will be routed through the realization account. So when you are going to sell any asset or when you are going to take away any asset, you are not going to show that particular asset account at all. ஏன்னா பிஸ்னஸ் ரன் ஆச்சுன்னா அந்த அசட் அக்கௌண்ட்டை காட்டுறதுல ஒரு அர்த்தம் இருக்கு, ஒரு லாஜிக் இருக்கு. பிஸ்னஸே க்ளோஸ் ஆகும்போது அந்த அக்கௌண்ட் இனிமே ரெக்கார்ட்லேயே இருக்கக்கூடாது. அப்போ அந்த அக்கௌண்ட்டுக்கு பதில் என்ன வரணும்னா ரியலைசேஷன் அக்கௌண்ட் வில் பி ஸ்வாப்பிங் த பொசிஷன். அப்போ சேல் ஆஃப் அசெட் அப்படின்னு இருக்குன்னா சேல் பண்ண உங்களுக்கு என்ன வரும்? கேஷ் ஆர் பேங்க் அக்கௌண்ட். ஓகே, தட் வில் பி தட் கேஷ் ஆர் பேங்க் அக்கௌண்ட். Okay, it will be debited. But instead of here, as you mentioned, furniture, in the place of furniture, you will replace it as to realization account. It will be replaced as to realization account. அதனால தான் நான் இப்போ ரியலைசேஷன் அக்கௌண்ட் லெட்ஜர் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணுறேன். ஓகே, ரியலைசேஷன் ஒரு அக்கௌண்ட், இது வந்து ஒரு லெட்ஜர் அக்கௌண்ட் தான். ரியலைசேஷன் அக்கௌண்ட் நான் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணால் எனக்கு ரியலைசேஷன் ஆயிருக்கு, கிரெடிட் ஆயிருக்கு. அப்போது வாட் இஸ் த அல்டிமேட் ஐட்டம் அவைலபிள் மை டெபிட், கேஷ் ஆர் பேங்க். ஸோ இந்த டெபிட்டை கொண்டு போய் நான் என்ன பண்ணணும், கிரெடிட் சைட்லாம் காட்டணும். ஸோ when I'm going to prepare my realization account on the credit side, I'll be recording it as by cash or bank account. ஸோ இதைத்தான் என்ன பண்ணியிருக்காங்க இந்த இடத்துல நமக்கு சொல்ல வந்திருக்காங்க. ஓகே, சேல் ஆஃப் அசட்ங்கிற போது when you are selling any asset, that asset whatever is being sold out will be recorded on the credit side of realization account. Is this clear to you all? Is this clear to you? Others, Manav, Charan? Okay, fine. So this is the concept, right? The next one, as they mentioned here, record the assets taken over by a partner at an agreed value. Okay, so now apart from this, assets can be taken over by partner also. Okay, when an asset is taken over by a partner, in general, what we will do is respective partner's capital will be debited with that particular asset will be credited. Okay, in normal cases, like in retirement or the other cases, if you see, okay, when an asset is taken over by a partner, okay, when assets taken over by partner, in a normal case it will be as the respective partner whoever takes that particular asset, partners capital account will be debited to, for example, the asset what he is taking is furniture. If it's a furniture, we'll record it as to furniture account. This is in the normal case. Normal case in the sense up to retirement this can be acceptable. When it comes to dissolution, the place of furniture will be swapped by what? It will be swapped by your realization. So if any partner takes assets, okay, partners taking over any asset under dissolution, the entry will be as partners capital will be debited. Okay, partners capital account will be in the debit, but the only change is In place of furniture, you will be having realization account with what value he has taken over. Okay, that is what they are mentioning it here. Okay, when a partner is taking away, okay, an asset, taken over by partner at an agreed value, okay, recorded or unrecorded, that should also be brought into the picture. Where it will be brought means it will be brought to the credit side. Okay, and next is settle all liabilities. So the settlement now takes place. இந்த செட்டில்மெண்ட்டுக்காக தான் நீங்கள் இந்த அசட்ஸ்லாம் விற்கிறீங்களே. So settle all liabilities, whether the liabilities is recorded or it is an unrecorded value. Where to be done? Debit side of realization account. Okay, debit side of realization account. Okay, let me make you to understand this also with an example. Okay, so liability settlement. First, you understand in the normal case. Okay, I'm going to take a liability. Example of a liability is creditor. My liability, what I'm going to take is okay creditor. So paid to creditor. So paid to creditor is the transaction. In normal case, what will be the entry if you ask? It will be as creditors account debited. Okay, or you can even write sundry creditors. Okay, sundry creditors account or creditors account is debited to cash or bank account. This will be the normal entry. This is in normal cases where the business is continuing. Okay, they're not closing up. But now, under the dissolution, the same, let me give an example of liability, and this liability is paid creditors. Okay, the same thing, paid creditors. So here creditor is a liability. In the place of this liability, you have to use realization account. That is the only change. So here the entry will be as realization account will be debited to cash or bank account. So if you just see in both this entry, cash or bank account is in the credit. In these two entries, okay, this line is same. Cash or bank account is same, but the only change where you can see is here you have got creditors, but here that creditor is swapped by realization account. This is the change that will happen in case of resolution. So that is what they are trying to communicate from this particular concept, whereby settle the liabilities, so recorded or unrecorded, to the debit side of realization account. So now you may ask how it is debit side of realization account. In my journal, the creditors has been or the account has not been okay debited, has been credited. Then how come it becomes a debit? Just a minute. Now the realization account. Okay, we are going to prepare for the payment of creditors. So realization account, which is a ledger account, debit side, and over here the credit side. So what is the entry? Realization account is debited to cash or bank. So I am dealing in realization account. The account is appearing in the creditors cash or bank. Take it to the debit side. So you will write here as to cash or bank account, and you know very well that it is nothing but payment to a creditor. So pay creditor payment. So under this probably you can make it as okay to whom all you are paid one by one. So creditors, the value, how much are you paid, that you can record it under this head. You can't write as to creditor, okay, or you can write as what anything as you like. This is how the payment should be done. So if it is a normal case, it will be as creditors account will be debited to cash or bank, but it is a dissolution, so it should root up through realization account. So realization account debited to cash bank, and that cash bank is got debited. This is what they're trying to say from this particular point. Is it clear to you? Now coming up to the next one. Record the liabilities. Okay. There it is mentioned settle of the liabilities. Now here coming to recording the liabilities. Whether it is recorded or unrecorded, or even taken over by partner at an agreed value. So whatever the liabilities that is being taken over by a partner should be recorded. That means we have discussed earlier about the assets taken over by a partner. Sometimes partner can also take up the responsibility for the settlement of any liability. If in case any partner takes such type of liabilities in his clusters or as his own responsibility, then the entry to be passed for that. Okay, let me make you to understand. So here, when an asset is taken over by a partner, what you did, when asset taken over by partner, what you did, yeah, then partner's capital account is debited to furniture account in normal case. And in this case, what you did, partner's capital account debited to realization account. Now, this is for asset taken over. What would be for the liability taken over? What could be for the liability that is being taken over by a partner? The quite reversal of this entry. Asset taken overக்கு இதை நீ entry pass பண்றனா liabilityக்கு இது ஒரு quite reversal. Okay, அசத்துக்கு நீங்க இந்த entry pass பண்றனா liability taken overக்கு இது ஒரு reversal. Okay, so that's why I'm going to write here partners taking over any liability. Okay, partners taking over any liability during dissolution. இந்த என்ட்ரி குவைட் ஆப்போசிட். அப்போ எது டெபிட் பண்ணும், ரியலைசேஷனை டெபிட் பண்ணுவேன். Realization account is debited to partners capital account. To partners capital account. ஸோ அசட் டேக் பண்ணும்போது இது என்ட்ரினா லயபிலிட்டிக்கும் போது அப்படியே அந்த என்ட்ரி மாறுது. டெபிட் கிரெடிட் ஆகும், கிரெடிட் டெபிட்டாகவும் மாறுது. தட்ஸ் இட். நத்திங் இஸ் அ ஹியூஜ் டிஃபரன்ஸ். ஓகே, ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் வாட் தேர் ட்ரைங் டு கம்யூனிகேட் ஃப்ரம் திஸ் பர்டிகுலர் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட். Recorded liability or unrecorded liability, that's not an issue. If it is taken over by a partner at an agreed value, you will be taking it to the debit side of realization account. This is clear to you? Is it clear to you? Hello? Okay, so this is the concept with respect to the dissolution, and the partner's capital go to the realization account debit side. And coming over to the next category, what you said is settle the realization expenses. Even this is something which we have to discuss, realization expenses. So in my concept, I made here one thing clear, that we are going to discuss something about the important, okay, accounts, important treatment and adjustment. So this expenditures, realization expenditure, I'm going to discuss under the heads of important treatment. So because the payment of this realization expenses will happen from various end, whether the firm is going to make the payment or the partner is going to make the payment, or firm accepted but partner making the payment, or partner accepted but firm making the payment, or partner accepted but another partner is making the payment. Like that we have various, okay, categories whereby the entry will be differing from each concept to another concept. So this I would like to go with the treatment concept. Okay, so I'll discuss one by one about the settlement realization expenses, and then you have to transfer the profit or loss of realization account among all the partners in the profit sharing ratio. That means after taking into account every items, every transaction. Okay, so sorry, your realization account. So basically, what are the things that we discuss if you ask? Okay, on the debit side and the credit side. First, on the debit side, you'll bring assets from your given balance sheet, leaving out the few items, and then you'll drop all your liabilities on the credit side, except few, and then the asset whatever that sold out will be brought to the credit side. Okay, by sale of assets. That is, it will be actually mentioned as bank. Okay, by bank sale of assets. Okay, and followed by that, any partner taking over the respective assets by partner's capital account, asset taken over will come here. Okay, next, payment of liabilities to bank, liability settlement. Followed by this, again you will be having this to partners capital, liability taken over. Up to this, any doubt to anyone? Okay, and then you will be recording up the payment of your expenses. Okay, depending upon the situation and scenario. Okay, so two, realization expenses. Once you record all this, you will have to total both the sides. Sometimes your debit value might be heavier and the credit side total will be short. If this is the case, then this will result in the balancing figure appearing on your credit side and you'll record it as by realization loss. It will be as realization loss. This loss should be distributed to the partners. Okay, this loss has to be distributed to partners according to their profit sharing ratio. Okay, this is point one. Suppose the situation is quite different. Okay, the situation is quite different. That means the amount is not appearing on the credit side, it is appearing on the debit side. That means your credit side total is heavier and your debit side total is short. This is nothing but realization profit. So, to realization profit and the amount to be distributed to partners. So, distribute to partners in their profit sharing ratio. So, this is what they are mentioned here. Okay, as a point, you have to transfer and settle all the real estate expenses and then transfer the profit or loss of realization account among all the partners in the profit sharing ratio, and then settle accumulated profit, reserves, and loss. So how will you settle this accumulated profit, reserves, and losses? Just simple, you have to transfer it to your partner's capital account. So that will go as an entry, and this will go to the partner's capital account, and then settle the partner's loan account through cash or bank. So this is nothing but your internal liability. For this, you have to prepare the loan account of the partners and make a payment. Followed by that, you'll also prepare the cash or bank account, because to what extent you are going to settle the payment, to that extent the amount of cash or bank balance will get reduced. நீங்க எந்த அளவுக்கு பேமெண்ட் பண்றீங்களோ உங்களோட லோனை செட்டில் பண்றதுக்கு, அந்த அளவுக்கு உங்களோட கேஷ் பேலன்ஸோ, பேங்க் பேலன்ஸோ கட்டாயமா குறையும். So that is the reason you are preparing both the loan account as well as a cash or bank account one below the other, so that both will get equally agreed. And then finally, they settle the partner's capital account surplus or deficit through cash or bank account. So whatever the surplus or the deficit that is left over after meeting all this should be transferred to the partner's capital through cash or bank account. Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this concept? We discussed first from the beginning what is retirement, what is dissolution, what are the important sections that we have in resolution. So starting from section 39, section 43 and section 48. 48 section has got two subdivision, 48a and 48b. The significance of each of these sections are also been discussed in detail, and then we discussed what are the modes of dissolution and why it is happening up. At the same time, what are all the different accounts that we prepare under dissolution? Five different types of accounts have been prepared under dissolution. And then the concept of preparing your realization account. So how we prepare the realization account, what needs to be taken into account, and what we are not supposed to take into account, all such things. And here the realization of assets and settlement of liability is also being given to you in a mind map. So realization of asset through cash means the entry will be as bank account or cash account debited to realization account. If it is taken over by a partner, then the partner's capital account is debited to realization account. And suppose if it is settled against any liabilities in a full settlement, then there won't be any entry. This is one thing you have to understand. Okay, so realization of an asset. Okay, if an asset is being taken over, okay, settled against any liabilities in full settlement, then no entry is required. என்ன சார் இது கொஞ்சம் கிளாரிட்டியா இல்ல புரியல. Okay, I'll make you to understand. For example, for this, what they said, settled against any liability. So I'll give you an example. Example is, you have a sundry creditor. Okay, you have a sundry creditor worth of rupees 2 lakhs. Okay, you have got an asset. Okay, you have got an asset. Okay, say for example, it is computer. The asset name is computer, which is appearing in your books of accounts at the rate of rupees 3 lakhs. Okay, suppose you have like this a combination. There is one sundry creditor worth of rupees 2 lakh, and in your balance sheet there is an asset called computer, and the computer is being recorded at rupees 3 lakh. Suppose if this sundry creditor is going to take away this particular asset, okay, if this sundry creditor is going to take away this computer against his due of rupees 2 lakh, and he's not valuing this 3 lakh rupees of computer for 3 lakh, he's valuing either the lesser value, or he says that this 3 lakh rupees computer is equal to the loan amount what you have to settle me 2 lakhs. நீ தர வேண்டிய 2 லட்சத்துக்கு நான் உன்னோட 3 லட்ச ரூபா கம்ப்யூட்டரை மதிப்பு எடுத்துக்கிறேன். He need not value your computer at 3 lakh itself. He may value at a lesser price, or if possible he can value at 3 lakh also. It depends upon him. If suppose any such asset has gone as a settlement against your liability, then in that case only you have to pass no entry. So in that case, no entry will be passed. Purida, am I making it clear to you? There is a sundry creditor of rupees 2 lakh. அவன் வந்து உங்களோட அசெட் ஒரு ஏதோ ஒரு அசெட் எடுத்துக்கிறான். அந்த அசெட் வேல்யூ புக் வேல்யூல எடுத்துக்கல. அவன் அவனோட செட்டில்மெண்ட் அமௌண்ட்டுக்கு ஈக்குவலண்டாவோ இல்லை அது கம்மியாக கொண்டு இருந்தானா, தென் நோ என்ட்ரி வில் பி பாஸ்ட். இது ஒரு கான்செப்ட். இதுலயே இன்னொரு கான்செப்ட் இருக்கு. அது என்னன்னு பார்த்தோன்னாக்க, சேம் எக்ஸாம்பிள் பட் டிஃப்ரெண்ட்லி. ஓகே, எக்ஸாம்பிள், யூ ஹாவ் யோர் sundry creditors worth of rupees 2 lakhs, and you have got an asset, that is machinery, worth of rupees 3 lakhs. Now, for the payment of this 2 lakh, if he is taking away this asset of rupees 3 lakhs, and he says or he thinks that for the amount what I should receive is 2 lakh only, but I taken 3 lakh worth of property, even though I'm not going to value at 3 lakh, let me value this as rupees 2 lakh 80. Okay, suppose that sundry creditor is valuing this 3 lakh rupees worth as rupees 2 lakh 80. அப்போ அவன் என்ன பண்றாரு, 2 lakh rupeesக்கு he has taken worth of rupees 2 lakh 80ங்கிறத பண்ணிக்கிறார். இந்த 3 lakh அவர் வேல்யூ பண்ணி 2 lakh 80க்கு வேல்யூ பண்றார். Then he feels I have taken rupees 80,000 excess. 80,000 rupees நான் அதிகமாக எடுத்திருக்கேன், அதை நான் ரீஃபண்ட் பண்றேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு if creditor refunds the amount, okay, if creditor refunds the amount of rupees 80,000, then we'll have to pass an entry. Then we need to pass an entry. Is it clear to you? Is it okay? அப்போ என்ன சார் என்ட்ரி பாஸ் பண்ணுவோம். ஓகே, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இப்படி புரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. இப்போ ஒரு அசத்து ரியலைஸ் ஆச்சுன்னா என்ன என்ட்ரி பாஸ் பண்ணுவீங்க? ஒரு அசட் உங்களுக்கு ரியலைஸ் ஆச்சுன்னா என்ன என்ட்ரி பாஸ் பண்ணுவீங்க? ஓகே, ஸோ இந்த கேஸில் சண்டரி கிரெடிட்டார் அகெயின்ஸ்டாக எடுத்திருக்காருங்கிற போது யூ ஒன்ட் பாஸ் அன் என்ட்ரி. ஓகே, இட் வில் பி லெஃப்ட் ஓவர் ஆஸ் சச், நோ என்ட்ரி வில் பி பாஸ். பட் இந்த கேஸை பாருங்க, அவர் அசத்தை எடுத்துட்டாரு, எடுத்ததுக்கு அப்புறமா ரீஃபண்ட் அமௌண்ட் தராரு, ஆர் அந்த அசத்துக்கு அகெயின்ஸ்டா ரிட்டர்ன் பேக் ஒரு அமௌண்ட் தராரு 80,000. அப்போ இந்த கேஸ் எப்படி எடுத்துப்பீங்க? அமௌண்ட் ரிசீவ்டு ஃப்ரம் கிரெடிட்டார், டிரான்சாக்ஷன் அப்படி நீங்கள் போடுவீங்க. சப்போஸ் கிரெடிட்டார் உங்களுக்கு ஒரு 80,000 ருபீஸ் ரீபே பண்ணுறாருன்னா பேசிக்காக அந்த டிரான்சாக்ஷன் எப்படி நீங்கள் அசியூம் பண்ணிப்பீங்க? ஓகே, அமௌண்ட் ரிசீவ்டு ஃப்ரம் கிரெடிட்டார், கரெக்டா? அமௌண்ட் ரிசீவ்டு ஃப்ரம் கிரெடிட்டார். ஸோ இதுக்கு நீங்கள் என்ன என்ட்ரி பாஸ் பண்ணுவீங்க அப்படின்னா, அமௌண்ட் ரிசீவ் ஆயிருக்கு, அப்போது இட் வில் பி ஆஸ் கேஷ் ஆர் பேங்க் அக்கவுண்ட் இஸ் டெபிட்டட் டு, இன் ஜென்ரல் கேஸ் இது கிரெடிட்டார் இருந்தால் நீங்கள் டூ கிரெடிட்டார் அக்கௌண்ட் போடுவீங்க. ஓகே, இது நார்மல் கேஸில். பட் இது ஒரு டிசல்யூஷன் கேஸ். அப்போ கிரெடிட்டார் இருக்கிற இடத்துல என்ன மாறிடும் உங்களுக்கு அப்படின்னு கேட்டினா ரியலைசேஷனாக மாறிடும். It will be as realization account. So if suppose an asset has been taken up by an creditor or by a, okay, for any liability, okay, if any asset is taken over by the creditors and later some amount has been refunded back by the creditor, for the refund amount alone you will pass the entry in the realization account. However, if he is not paying you any amount in return, then no entry will be passed. Is this clear to you all? Is this clear to you all? Okay, so coming up to the next one, settlement of liabilities. So again here also you can have it up like through cash, okay, and then you have got like through bank. So cash or bank is one settlement, or it can be taken over by a partner. So it will be routed through his capital account, or the settlement is in such a way settled against any asset in full settlement. So if the settlement is happening in such a way, okay, like first one, realization account to cash or bank account. That means when you settle any liabilities, then the entry will be realization to cash or bank account. I repeat it, realization account debited to cash or bank account. எதுக்கு? liability pay பண்ணுறதுக்கு. ஸோ நம்ம பார்த்தோம், சன்ட்ரி கிரெடிட்டார்ஸ்க்கு பே பண்ணுறீங்கனாக்க எங்கே பே பண்ணுவீங்க? அந்த பேமெண்ட்டை ரியலைசேஷன் அக்கௌண்ட்டில் டெபிட் சைடில் காட்டுவீங்க. ரியலைசேஷன் டு கேஷ் ஆர் பேங்க். யூ ஒன்ட் மேக் இட் அஸ் கிரெடிட்டார் டு கேஷ் ஆர் பேங்க், யூ வில் மேக் இட் அஸ் ரியலைசேஷன் டு கேஷ் ஆர் பேங்க். The next one, any asset taken over by a partner. So இந்த இடத்த பார்த்தினாக்க if a liability is taken over by a partner, partner's capital will be credited and realization account will be debited. அதையும் நம்ம இங்கே டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணோம், ரைட்டா? If a partner is taking over, quite opposite to that. Look here, partner is taking over any liability during the dissolution process, realization account is being debited, partner's capital is credited. Look at it, what they have mentioned here also. it is mentioned as realization account is debited and partner's capital is getting credited. And finally, settled against any asset in full settlement. Okay, so that means the liability is settled, it is no entry is required. So in the idu are interconnected. These two are interconnected. Okay, realization of asset and here the payment. In a realize or the pay pandringa. So in this case there won't be any entry. Up to this, any doubt to anyone? Any doubts to anyone? Right. Now comes the treatment of realization expenses. So, with this realization expenses, the theoretical concept of dissolution is of that's it. We have discussed about the accounts to be prepared, the mode of dissolutions, the important sections that is covered under this chapter, and the differences between what say dissolution with retirement and how the realization expenses are being dealt with. So with this, we'll be stopping this segment. Probably once again, session we'll be having it in the later evening part around like 4 o'clock if possible, where we'll be discussing upon the practical problems, application of these assets towards the payment of liabilities, and also the new concept what you said is if in case a particular asset is appearing in your balance sheet but information with respect to the realized value of the asset is not given, what needs to be done, all such things will be discussed as a problems in the upcoming session. Okay, will be in the later evening. So with this we'll be stopping our segment for the day, treatment of realization expenses. So yes ma, definitely that will also be touch based. No, no. Yes. So here you can see like treatment of, okay. Here also, okay, you can see the dissolution that takes place, the expenses concept. Okay, treatment of the expenses. If it is borne and paid by the firm, then the entry will be as realization account debited to cash or bank account. Okay, so that means if it is the firm that takes up the responsibility for the payment of the realization expenses, then the entry will be going in such a way that realization account debited to cash up bank. Okay, in that way only I have made here that in the realization expenses. Okay, just a minute. When we discuss about the format, okay, yes. So over here you can see like two realization expenses. Okay, you could see here the realization expenses which I marked it as two realization. That means if it is a firm that they have taken the responsibility for the payment, in that case this is the journal to be passed. So that is what they have mentioned here also. If it is the firm's responsibility, then it will be as realization to cash or bank. On the other hand, if it is paid by the firm on behalf of being bearing partner, okay, so that means for example I have taken the responsibility, I am a partner in a firm but I am unable to make the payment, so on my behalf the firm has taken up the responsibility to make it up, so they are doing it, then that means they will debit it from my capital. So the respective partner who has taken the responsibility, his partner's capital will be debited or credit, he will be debited, and then cash or bank account will be in the credit. This is clear to you? Okay. And followed by this, you can see that if it is a case of firm has agreed to pay a fixed amount to the partner in the form of the realization expenses towards the realization expenses, then the entry will be as realization account is debited to partner's capital or current account. Okay, if the firm has made any payment towards the realization expenses, then the entry will be as realization account is debited to, okay, realization expenses account is debited to partner's capital or current account. Able to understand? Right. The next one, if you see, if it is borne by the firm and paid by a partner. Okay, it is borne by a firm and paid by partner. So that means responsibility is in the hands of the firm, but partners have paid it. So the entry will be different. Realization account is debited to partners capital or current account. Okay, so that means the amount will be paid back to the partners. So in the case la partner pay பண்ணிருக்காங்க firmக்கு பதிலா. Okay, whereas அங்க firm pay பண்ணிருக்காங்க partnerக்கு பதிலா. You can see there is a okay cross verification. You can see these two okay entries are just overlapping each other. இங்க firm pay பண்ணிருக்காங்க partnerக்கு பதிலா. இங்க okay partner pay பண்ணிருக்காங்க firmக்கு பதிலா. ரைட். ஸோ அப்போ பாருங்க எப்படி என்ட்ரி ஆயிருக்கு. இங்கே பார்ட்னர் கேபிட்டல் ஒரு கரண்ட் அக்கௌண்ட் டெபிட் ஆயிருக்கு. அதுவே இங்கே வந்து பார்ட்னர் கேபிட்டல் ஒரு கரண்ட் அக்கௌண்ட் கிரெடிட் ஆயிருக்கு. இந்த இடத்துல பார்த்தீங்கன்னா கேஷ் ஆர் பேங்க் அக்கௌண்ட் வருது. பட் இங்கே ரியலைசேஷன் அக்கௌண்ட் தான் வரும். கிளியரா? The last one, okay, which is nothing but borne by one partner and paid by another partner. That means A வந்து ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி எடுத்திருப்பாரு பட் பி பே பண்ணியிருப்பார். ஸோ borne by one partner paid by another partner. So அப்போ the partner who's bearing his account will be debited and the partner who's making the payment his account should be credited. So bearing partner's capital or current account is debited to paying partner's capital or current account. This is the journal entry which you have gotten. So altogether, how many journal entries you are passing? 5. But in the textbook, you see there will be 6. That means they have mentioned one particular case as no entry. அது என்னன்னு பார்த்தா the same partner is accepting and paying the expenditure. For example, இங்க நீங்க பார்த்துக்க எங்க இருக்கு பாருங்க. பார்ட்னர் பேர் பண்ணியிருக்காரு. ஓகே. ஆனா பே பண்ணது ஃபர்ம். அப்போ என்ட்ரி காட்டுறீங்க. இந்த இடத்துல பார்த்தினாக்க பேர் பண்ணது ஒரு பார்ட்னர் ஆனால் பே பண்ணது இன்னொன்று பார்ட்னர். அதனால என்ட்ரி காட்டுறீங்க. இந்த இடத்துல போன் பண்ணது ஃபர்ம் பட் பே பண்ணது பார்ட்னர். அதனால என்ட்ரி காட்டுறீங்க. இந்த இடத்துல பார்த்தினாக்க ஃபர்ம் வந்து ஒரு அக்ரீட் அமௌண்ட்டை பார்ட்னருக்கு பே பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. அதனால என்ட்ரி இப்படி வருது. இங்கே ஃபர்மே பே பண்ணியிருக்காங்க எப்படி இப்படி வருது. பட் சப்போஸ் ஓகே இஃப் partner A has borne the responsibility. Okay, if partner A has borne the responsibility for the payment. Okay, if partner A has borne the responsibility for the payment of realization expenses and partner A has paid the amount okay of realization expenses. ஓகே ஆஃப் ரியலைசேஷன் எக்ஸ்பென்சஸ். அப்போ இங்கே கேஸ் வந்து பார்ட்னர் ஏவே போன் பண்ணுறாரு, அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிக்கிறாரு ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி அண்ட் அவரே வந்து பேவும் பண்ணியிருக்காரு அப்படின்னாக்க இந்த கேஸில் தான் நோ என்ட்ரி. ஓகே ஃபார் திஸ் கேஸ் ஒன்லி தேர் ஒன்ட் பி எனி என்ட்ரி. ஜேர்னல் வில் நாட் பி அப்ளிகபிள். ஓகே ஒரே பார்ட்னர் பேர் பண்ணி அதே பார்ட்னர் பே பண்ணியிருக்காருன்னா அப்போ தான் என்ட்ரி வராது. இஸ் இஸ் கிளியர் டு எவ்ரி ஒன்? Okay, so with this, I'm just stopping it for the day because I don't want to prolong it. Okay, with the problems along the theory. So I ensure that the theoretical concept, whatever that I want to touch base with respect to dissolution, right from the difference between dissolution and retirement, the important sections, what we learn in this chapter, the important accounts that what you have to prepare, and then the mode of resolutions, how many modes are there, and also the types of accounts what we have to prepare it, and how do you deal with the realization expenses, and at the same time okay what makes the difference when a partner takes away an asset against the amount what he has to receive in resolution, and when the partner takes up the liability for the payment, okay, and how it will be dealt with, everything we have discussed in detail. So the rest of the segment will be dealt in the second part, that will be either in the later afternoon, like around 3 or 4 o'clock in the evening. Okay, so if you have any doubt in between, you can just clarify it, or in this session also you can make it clarified. And please, once I share this video in the YouTube, kindly, if time permits, go and watch it, or whenever you have find any difficulty in understanding a concept, please go and watch the video and get your doubts clarified. Thank you, ma. Welcome. Welcome.